Hi, I thought I'd come back today and have a chat. You'll have to excuse this one. This is Milan, so he's decided he wants to be in the video as well today. Right, this is a non-fiction book that I'm talking about today. It was sent to me by Netgalley, and it's called Long Players, and it's edited by Tom Gatty. I'm reading off this, and it's for writers on the albums that shaped them. So this is various writers and journalists talking about LPs that sort of had an impact on their lives. So there's lots of people in here. There's Neil Tennant, who actually isn't a writer, but you know what I mean. You have to excuse me because it takes ages looking on this. There's Bernadette. Who else was there? There's a very, very long intro. Oh, the intro went on for absolutely ages. On my Kindle, it was about 12%, I think, of it was the intro before you even got onto the albums, which, I don't know, it's all to do with the history of LPs and stuff like that, which, to me, I wanted to get into the bit about what the writers had thought and some of these albums. Just excuse me while I'm still scrolling along here. He does, I have to tell you, just take hours. Right, then we've got people. Right, I'm up there now. Clive James, Patricia Lockwood, people like that talking about the albums that had an impact on their lives. And you've got albums ranging from classical to Bjork, to David Bowie, Joni Mitchell. You've got Miles Davis, all sorts of albums. I was a little bit disappointed actually, and it's a purely personal thing, and it sounds absolutely stupid, but it disappointed me because there was only a couple of albums that I actually knew. I was expecting to have more albums that I knew about, but I didn't. And is that because I haven't got much of a musical taste, I wonder? But it did intrigue me because several of the albums, you thought, well, the way the writers wrote about them, you thought, well, you know, maybe I ought to listen to this. When it came to hip hop and rap, then sorry, that is just not me. I am not into hip hop. I'm not into rap. So when I found that the albums they were talking about were these, then yeah, I did gloss over them. I sort of scrolled very, very quickly onto other albums. So for non-fiction book, it was an interesting read because it introduced me to some albums I've never even heard of. And it was interesting to see how albums impacted these people's lives. It also made me think, well, if somebody asked me what album had an impact on me, I couldn't really say. I cannot think of one album that sort of encapsulated my youth. Does that make me sad? Who knows? Anyway, so a non-fiction one to talk about today, something totally different. It comes out, I think, in August, but as I can never remember these things, I'll put it in the description box below when it does come out. But I'm pretty sure this one comes out in August, and it's Long Player. So, happy reading, take care, and bye.